Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Titan with Titans of CNC. And today I am excited because we're going to teach you how to program the TITAN-10M. So now you've gone through the building blocks. You've gone through 9 different parts. You've learned through repetition. You've learned all kinds of techniques. And now we're going to bring it all together to do an actual aerospace part that we create for companies that build rockets that go to space. So one thing that I'll say is like this pattern right here is like a honeycomb pattern, okay? So it's a cool pattern that takes weight out of material while keeping it incredibly strong, okay? So it's a technique used by aerospace companies. It's a structural technique to keep strength in parts. So we put it into this part. It's an isogrid, which is just another name for it. And check this out. Not only does it have a cool pattern, not only does it have threads and pockets and counterbores, but you flip it on its side and boom, check it out. See, this is like smaller than this. So it's like actually tapered. So you can't just mill it and flip it over and cut it. You'll actually have to multi-axis surface all the way up, right? So you got to cut all through here, all the way up here, boom, boom, boom. You got to make it happen, okay? So that's going to be really cool. And then check this out. Boom! There's islands. Yes. Let's just like make it crazy. Let them have some fun. And that's what we're doing, all right? So when looking at this part, if I did this side first, then when I flip it over, the whole thing would be like cocked, right? It'd be kind of weird. It'd be hard to sit. You'd have to create soft jaws to kind of make it parallel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do the bottom first. Okay, and that way you can set it in soft jaws or hard jaws and actually set it nice and flat and then do this side afterwards. So first side, we're doing this side. We're going to cut the pockets in right now. We're going to profile it and we're going to make it happen. Okay, so let's do it. First thing we're going to do is go up to setup. Come up here, set up our job. So model Z. I'm going to hit this guy right here. Boom. I'm going to come over here. So X, it's already in position, but I'll just hit this guy right here. Now I'm going to say model box point. I'm going to hit it right here. Boom, boom. Looks perfect. I'm going to come up here to stock. I'm going to go all sides. I'm going to go 0.050. I'm going to tab down. 0.050, 0.050, 0.050. Boom, boom. I can see it right here. We don't have a lot of material here, okay? So usually this is like at 750, but now this is a bigger part. From my experience, if you have about 100 to 120 thousandths, that is good enough to hold on to. But right here, if you look at 1x2 material, it means we just have a little bit over 150 thousandths, all right? So I'm going to take, let's say, take 25 thousandths off the top, and then we'll take off the rest, an eighth from the bottom, okay? So we're going to go right here, and I'm going to go 0.025 right here. And then down here, I'm going to go 0.1, say 132. So I'm real close right here. That's good enough. See that right there? Okay. So it's 1x2 by 8.1. So I'm going to say okay. Boom. We're all set up. We're still upper left. It looks a little weird because this is like a bottom surface right here. The surface is so big down here and the islands are keeping it up high. All right, so what's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to start cutting with our 1/2 inch. If somebody had like a face mill that was smaller, like a 1.5 or something, you probably could get it around here, boom, 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 and actually come in and hog this out. I'm just going to use the 1/2 inch cutter, okay? So we're going to come up here. We're going to go to 3D adaptive. Boom. I'm going to grab my tool. I'm going to come over here to building blocks. I'm going to come right here and 1/2 inch. Oh, right there. Okay, 4,000 RPMs. I'm going to tab all the way through. I'm going to go 25, 25, 25, 25, 100. I'm going to come up here. It already knows where I'm at. It knows where my material's at. I'm going to turn off rest machining because we have not machined anything yet. I'm going to come over here. Model top, I'll leave it alone. Model top, model top, model bottom. So model bottom, I'll actually go negative point. I'm not going to go that much now. All right. So we have a sharp corner on that end mill. I'm not going to go too much because I don't want to cut into my jaws, right? So I'm just going to go 0.005, just a little bit, okay? So, and you can see like it's just going to be like barely anything right there. All right, so now we're going to come up here. I'm going to come down, boom. I'm going to say we'll just do 0.075 right there. Minimum cutting radius, that's fine. Climb, that's fine. Maximum roughing step down, that's fine, fine. Material to leave, I'm going to say 0.005. All right, so I'm just leaving 5 thousandths on the diameter, 5 thousandths on this flat, and 5 thousandths around here. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. Boom. This guy doesn't really matter. I'm going to keep it there. 70% is fine. I'm going to put this at 100 right there. 50 thousandths, 50 thousandths, 100 thousandths. I'll just put that right there. And I think everything looks really good. Okay, so let's just do it. Boom. You see it up here? It's creating its path. Boom, boom, boom. And it looks good. So you can see it went around. Path looks nice. It looks clean. Okay. So you can see that there's the part down here, the end mill's coming all the way around. It doesn't really matter. We're roughing all this out anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that the full depth is going around, even though this is skinnier, it's going to be okay. All right, now that we have roughed it, we're going to go back and finish it with the same tool. All right, so we got to finish the top, finish the bottom, and we're going to profile it with the 1/2 inch tool. So let's just get to it. So one thing from experience and looking at this tool path and wanting to actually cut off of the surface over here, I'm actually going to prepare something. So just stay with me. So I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to go to model. I'm going to hit model. I'm going to actually come up here. I'm going to say sketch. I'm going to drop all the way down to offset. I'm going to say offset. I'm actually going to come over here to this bad boy right here. Click it. Then I'm going to click this guy right here. It gives me that offset right there. See that? So I'm using a 1/2 inch end mill. So I actually want to come off and have my 1/2 inch actually come off over here. So I'm just going to go a little bit big. All right. So I'm going to go 0.2. See how it does that? Boom. Okay. So that's something kind of cool right there. And then while I'm here, I'm like, okay, I need like a cool tool path that I can just walk across these guys. Something quick and dirty. Okay. So I'm going to say stop sketch right there. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just say line. I'm going to select this guy right here. Boom. All right. I'm going to actually pull this over here. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to hit that. So I know that this diameter right here is like 2 to 300 thousandths, right? So I'm just going to come over here. I'm just going to pick a line. So looking at this, I'm going to come over here, pick a line, boom. Then I'm going to draw a line coming all the way over here, off the part, boom, right? Then I'm just going to escape. I'm going to say stop sketch. Now, check this out. So now I've prepared myself. So I got this line and I got this line. So I am prepared to go ahead and be strategic about my tool paths. Got it? So now I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to drop down cam, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this right there, like boom, right down. Now that I'm back over here, I'm just going to click over here, regenerate toolpath, get that guy back. All right, so we are ready to go. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. All right, so a lot of times I'll use 2D contour to contour things, but since I'm going right across the top right here and following this line, I'm going to do something really simple. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to go 2D. I'm going to actually drop down to trace. I'm just going to trace the center of that line. It's going to be quick. All right, so I'm at 4,000. I already got my 1/2 inch in there. All right, so I'm going to drop down 25 inches a minute. That is fine. Boom, boom, boom. 100. We are good. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to click this line. Boom. The arrow's going in the right direction. If I was running production, I might make these lines shorter. So I basically feed, rapid, just to save those seconds, right? But in this particular training exercise, I just created one line and that's it, okay? So production is a whole different story. We're always thinking about the shortcuts, okay? So right now I'm gonna come up here. I'm just gonna say model top, basically model top. Over here, I'm gonna be model top. All the way down, boom, boom, boom. So it's 4, 2, now over here, I'm gonna say 0. I'm gonna flip it around. I'm just gonna double check and you can see that I am perfectly right on that surface. So we're just going to finish the top of these guys right here, all right? So I'm gonna come over here. Now, this already says center, and as I come down, everything looks perfect. See how easy that was? So I come over here, I actually don't need a lead in because I'm dropping down into thin air over here, right? So I'm good to go. Let me hit it. Boom. Oh, look at that. So it just drops down, boom, comes across, lifts up. Now that surface is perfect. The next thing we're gonna do is actually finish the bottom surface right here where we roughed everything out. We left a little bit of material. We're just gonna come back and kiss it. And we're gonna do a pocket, okay? And that's where this outside perimeter is gonna come into play, okay? So we're gonna come up, we're gonna hit 2D, I'm gonna drop down the pocket, got my same tool, 4,000, boom, 25, 25, 25, that all looks good. I'm gonna come over here now. Now, I don't wanna cut into these guys, so I'm gonna say, okay, let's hit that guy right there. Let's hit that guy right there. Let's hit that. We're telling where the islands are. We're telling the CAD CAM where the islands are. All right, and you can see it makes everything dark out here. But if you look at the shape, it's actually the shape of our material because that's what it understands, right? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell it where I want it to go. So I already got 3 of these guys. Now I'm just gonna click this guy. Boom, and see that? It all turned dark. So now it understands the surface and it's a 1/2 inch end mill. This is a couple 100 thousandths right here. So a 1/2 inch end mill is like that big and it's gonna go off the surface and basically clean everything up. All right, so that all looks perfect. So next thing I'm gonna do is come up here. I'm on model top, model top, model top. Top height is model top 0. And that's correct, but now I need to hit this bottom surface, which is 200 thousandths below. So I'm gonna say model top, but I'm gonna go negative 0.2, okay? So negative 0.2, that looks good. I look at it, eye it up, yep, it looks good, okay? So I'm gonna come up here. I'm left hand, I'm climb cutting, everything looks good. My maximum step over, I'm just gonna say, here we go, 0.3, okay? So you gotta be careful because if you take too big of a step over, it might leave like a little divot or like how they say cusp over here, okay? We definitely don't want to leave like a little mark. So 0.3 should be fine. Now I'm gonna drop down. I am finishing the axial, the Z, So I'm going to hit 0 right here, but over here, I'm going to hit 0.005. That's 5/10. I'm going to hit 5. So I'm leaving, radially, I'm leaving 5 thousandths on each one of these, and it's 0 on the surface. Okay, looks good. All right, so now I'm going to drop down here. Everything's perfect. This probably doesn't even matter. I'll just put 20 inches though. Stay down distance. Boom. This is good. That's good. That's good, because it's going to drop in and basically just do this little 50 thousandths like radial right inside. Boom. Come around. All right. So that all looks good. I'm going to change this to plunge, right? Because there's no extra material. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to just come straight down. Actually, let me just double check. So pre-drill, plunge. Yep. And I'm going to say okay. Boom. Ah, look at that. Look at that. So it just looks like a beautiful finished pass. You can see the cut comes all the way over here. So this is the center of the tool. You can see how wide the tool is. So by looking at this, you can tell that it's coming all the way out, right? So I know my pass is perfect. It looks good, right? But I don't like this little thing right here. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to right click, boom, come back over. And basically, I believe what it's telling me to do is it wants me to kind of raise some of this stuff, which doesn't always make sense to me, but I'll just do it. So 0.4, 0.2, 0.2, 0, -2. I hit OK. Boom. See? So a lot of times I like to like just get down, boom, 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 move up, get down, go close to the part and stuff. But this thing's a little weird sometimes. So if it was me, I might have left the yellow, left it alone. It wouldn't have mattered. It's a warning. But since this is education, I wanted to go back, lift everything up, make sure that we are completely safe and that you guys are getting it. All right. So we are good to go. So now we have roughed it. We have traced the top. We have done the pocket. Now next, let's finish this guy, right? So the pocket finished the bottom, but we left 5 thousandths here. So let's actually finish these guys and then we'll finish down here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is come up here. Boom. I'm going to drop down to the contour. Tool's already right there. 25, 25, 25. That all looks good. I'm going to come up here. It says nothing. I'm going to hit this guy. I'm going to hit this guy. Hit that guy. Boom, boom, boom. Arrows look perfect. Now I'm going to come over here. And the same thing, boom, boom, boom. Model top is top height. Now, check this out. So I'm going to tell you something. So when you actually surface the bottom and you come back with a completely different pass and it has different pressures and different things. We're finishing, but you know, it has a little bit different pressure because it's actually side milling instead of just bottom milling, right? So what I like to do is I don't want to cut in and leave any marks, right? So on the previous pass, when we did the bottom, we did it at 0.2, right? Z, -0.2, which was this surface. So now I'm going to keep it up about 5/10. On this part, it ain't going to matter. You're not going to see it. But basically, when I finish it, I'm going to keep it at 5/10 higher. And that'll make it so my tool doesn't dig in. It's just a little trick. It's a little thing you got to think about as a programmer, okay? So right here, I'm going to go -0.1995. Got it? And that's just a hair less than 200, so it's not going to dig in. Makes perfect sense. All right, so I'm going to come back up here. Boom. Cutter comp. I'm going to say where. I'm going to drop down. Boom, boom, boom. That all looks good. Come over here. This all looks good. Looks good. Now, just because I don't think it matters too much, but I'm just going to put this at 0.1. 0.1. That'll all be good. And I'll say okay. Boom. All right, so you can see It's a big pass, but it's all right. You can make it smaller if you guys want, but it basically comes in, boom. That was like 100 thousandths right there. Boom. Then it's like 50 thousandths, and then it's 100 thousandths right here. Comes around, then it gets your tool off. Boom, boom, boom. Did this one, did this one, did this one. Came over here, not sure why, but it looks clean. Okay. Part looks good. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna actually go around this side. Okay. So all I'm gonna do is come over here. I'm actually going to click this guy. I'm going to drop down to duplicate. It duplicates it. I'm going to click it. I'm going to right click it. I'm going to edit. Because we're only at 4,000, I want to make sure this thing's beautiful. How about we actually drop this to 20? So I'll go 20, 20, 20, 20, 100 right there. Boom, boom. Murdering it. All right, so right here, boom. I hit that guy, right? So I look at it. I'm like, oh, yeah. It looks good. There's no double lines. There's no chamfers. That is the line I need to go. But check this out. It's on the wrong side. I need to be over here, right? So if I look at it, it's on the wrong side. So let me click it. Boom. It's on the outside. Now it looks good. All right. So I'm going to come over here. It says model top, model top, model top. This is model top, which is right up here. But over here, I'm going to actually say model bottom. Say model bottom, and then I'm going to click this guy right here. Let's say negative 0.020. That puts me just a hair down right there. I'm going to come up here. I got 4/10, 25 thousandths. Where? Boom, boom. That all looks good because we already did it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to come over here. This all looks good. This is good. That's all good. And I'm going to say entry point. So now that I'm coming around the part, just because I like to see everything, the vise, I'm looking at it right here, right? So I'm right here looking at this part. So I don't want to start way out over there. I want to start over here. So I'm going to say entry position. I'm going to actually click this guy right there. See it? And then I'm going to hit this guy. Boom. Nice. See it? Nice. Beautiful. So now we roughed it. We finished the top. We finished the bottom. Finished around these guys, the posts, the islands. Then we finished around the outside. And now we're ready to go on to the next operation. All right, so let's go and actually do some more preparation, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is let's actually turn this guy off and turn this guy off. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to actually drop down right here. Boom. I'm going to go to sketches. Boom. I'm going to see how this thing is. These guys are right there. Just going to turn them off. Turn them off. I'm just going to go right back up there. Boom. Boom. We're good. All right, so now I have to be strategic, okay? So I have to bring in a 1/4" end mill and clean out all these pockets right here, okay? So I have to be very strategic in how I'm going to approach that, all right? So do I want to helical down with my tool? I think there's too many of them, you know? So because we might make a lot of different parts and stuff, I'm just going to do a certain technique. I'm just going to pre-drill it. Because I know that this right here is just a hair more than like a 1/4" right here. And I'm going to just use a 1/4" right here. Okay, so I'll drop in a 1/4" drill in each pocket. And then I'll make it so when I rough it, I can actually go fast into the pocket and start roughing it. Okay, and it'll just make everything better and easier. So we're going to do a little work beforehand and it'll make it easier later. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come up. I'm going to actually go into model. I'm going to come to model. I'm going to actually come over to sketch. I'm going to say point. And then I'm going to come over here. This is the surface. Boom. It gives it to me right there. Now bring it so I can totally see it. Like right here. And Click that guy so it's straight. Okay, so now this is a 1/4 inch, so I actually have a pretty good idea how big a 1/4 inch is, right? So I got a lot of space in here if I just drop down in the center of these guys. So I'm just gonna like click, boom. See that? So I'm just gonna click, boom. So I'm kind of looking at this, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this. I'm just clicking these right there, boom. See it? Boom. Boom. So I'm just eyeing it. I'm just eyeing it. Boom. 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 So I got all these points right in location. Everything looks perfect. All right, so I got to make sure that I have a point in the center of everything. That's where my 1/4 inch drill is going to come through. And I got to make sure that it's not going to hit the sides. Okay, so I just eyed it. I can tell that if this is a 1/4 inch diameter, that's definitely not going to let it hit. Okay, so I got to double check all of them. If you wanted to, you could draw like a 1/4 inch diameter right here, like boom, draw them. But I'm pretty confident. Okay, so I'm going to hit escape. And then I'm going to just say stop sketch right here. I'm happy with that guy right there. So I'm going to come back up. I'm going to come down to cam. Just going to regenerate real quick. Boom. Get all these guys back in line. Come back over here to my last one. So now we're going to pre-drill. And you know what? I'm thinking ahead. So as I pre-drill all these, since this diameter is 380, how about I just rough it right now? This one, this one, this one, and this one. I'll just rough them all right now. Okay? So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to hit drill. I'm going to go select my drill. Go to building blocks. I'm going to actually come down right here. Boom. Hit this bad boy right here. We're at 4,000. I'll say 18. You know, we'll just go up just a little bit. So this drill, this is a carbide drill. Like, it is a beast. So, but I'm just going to start off nice and slow. Later on, I'll speed it up and show you guys what it can actually do. Okay. That's going to be in my CNC video. So I'm going to hit that guy, hit that guy. That all looks good. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go select points. So I'm going to select this guy. Boom. And then let's just go. All right, so I'm going to hit this guy. Boom. 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 All right, so the path looks good. Let's go ahead and move on. We'll click right here. So I don't want to waste too much time over here. So we're at monotop, boom, boom, retract height, feed height. So model top, I'm actually going to say -0.1. Okay, now over here, top height, I'm actually going to say -0.2. That puts it right there. And then the bottom height, I'm actually going to say, I'm going to look at the overall thickness of my part. So I'm actually going to go like -1 inch. It'll probably just peek out. I can actually look at, I can see it coming out. So you know what, maybe I'll go like 0.950. And you can see it's breaking out. So the one that I'm really worried about right here is this guy right there. But it is making it through, so I think we're going to be good. You're just going to have to look at your overall depth, and you got to like put a pin down inside and make sure that you went deep enough, okay? And that your end mill is going to have proper clearance, but this is going to be okay. So we're going to go 9.5 right there. So I'm going to come back up here, and this one, for now, we're just going to peck. So we're going to go deep drilling. I'm going to say, so this is a 1/4 inch, so I'm just going to say 0.100. That looks good. Boom, boom, boom. Say okay. And there you go. All right. So now we have pre-drilled all of the pockets. Okay. So now we need to go and rough all of the pockets. So the next thing that we're going to do is go exactly that, go rough it. So I'm going to come up here. We've used 3D adaptive a lot, right? For all the different surfaces. On this one, I'm actually going to switch it up and go to 2D adaptive. So we're going to come over here to 2D. I'm going to hit adaptive. Boom. Okay. We have a 1/2 inch up here. That's not what I want. I actually want to go get the 1/4 inch. So I'm grabbing this 1/4 inch flat end mill right here. 1 inch flute length. I'm going to grab that guy. And I'm at 4,000. That's fine. Cutting feed rate. I'm actually going to go 25. We're roughing. We're in a tight pocket, but it'll be okay. You know what? I'm going to wimp out on you guys. So let's go 20 because we're in like this tight little spot right here. And you guys can judge for yourself. But there's going to be a lot of little chips and stuff. So let's just go 20. Let's go 20, 20, 20, 20. All the way down. Okay? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so feed rate, if there wasn't a hole here, then basically this would be way different. We'd have to helical in. And if you tried to just go in at 20, you'd break the tool. I don't want to go too fast because it's a 1/4 inch going into a 1/4 inch, so there's no room. It's just going to slip right inside. So I just want to be safe. If you guys want to like later on like speed it up or something, maybe I'll go 25. Just a little bit different. That way you can be like, you can change all feed 25s for that tool to something different if you want to speed it up later. Okay, so that we'll leave that at 25. Now this is going to take a little bit of work. Okay, so we just got to be very careful right here. So this guy, I'm going to click this one. Boom. See how it automatically goes to the outside? I want it on the inside. So I hit that guy. And now it contains it. Okay, then I hit this guy, boom. Then I hit this guy, boom. Then I hit this guy. Then I hit this guy, that guy. Boom. See it? All these little guys will make you crazy, but that looks good to me. Okay, 26 right there. So I'm going to say okay. Cool thing about programming is like once you program it one time and you do it right, then the part can run for years. You know what I mean? You just got to keep updating it if you get new and better tools and stuff. So retract, I'm going to go top, model top. Boom. Over here, I'm going to go model top. Boom. So right here, I'm going to go model top minus 0.2. Now over here, I'm going to go model bottom. See it? And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go negative 0.030. Okay, so I want to make sure, and you guys got to double check your numbers and make sure that this thing pops away down here. Okay, so I'm going to say okay. Boom. Okay, so that all looked good. So I'm going to come over here now. Clearance, optimal load. I don't want to get too crazy. Okay, so it's a 1/4 inch end mill. I don't want it to be taking a big cut. Okay, so right here, we're going to say 0.03 right there. It can take more, but I'm actually going to go a nice healthy Z depth, which will make it like better. All right, so we're going to go smaller radial, and then we're going to come, that's fine. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get right in these corners, so I'm going to make this like really small right here. So I'm going to go 0.004 right there. That means like in the corners, the radius that it allows and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Boom. We're climb cutting. Now multiple depths. Yes. Okay. So it says maximum step down. So I'm going to say 0.4 quarter inch, but we're taking a small radial. Okay. So I'm going to say that's fine. And then I'll look at how it stacks up, how the cuts stack up, and then I might change that depending. All right, so now axial, I don't need anything. Radial, I'll leave something. But here's the trick. I don't want to leave a lot of material on the radial, because when you come into this like little place with a tool that fills this all up, you can get chatter in that corner right there. Okay, so what I want to do is just kiss it, okay? So I'm going to do like 0.004, all right? And then I'm going to drop down, I'm going to do 0 on the axial, okay? Then I'm going to come up here, boom, this is all good. It's all good. I'll say like 70%. That should be good. That's good. No engagement. It's a small tool. We're not going that fast and stuff, so it has a hard time even speeding up in that little thing right there. If it was anything else, I would actually speed this up. Right? You know what? Let's just speed it up just a hair. Okay, so we'll go to 40. Hoo-hoo. Okay, so lead in transitions. 0.020. That'll be fine. Now, this guy, we're going to pre-drill. Then we're going to hit this guy, pre-drill locations. And then I'm just going to come back over here. Our last tool ended up, I think, over here and stuff. So we'll just come back here. We'll go boom, boom, 2. Keep track though. 3, 4, 5, 6. 25, 26. 26 it is. All right, so let's see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. Boom. Come on, adaptive. Let's do it. Let's do it. So you can see it. Like, so it's right there. It seems like it's way down there, but it's not at the bottom. It's not at the bottom. If you were doing like 1,000,000 of these, I would drop and make these shorter. You know, I would come through, make these shorter, make them longer, right? Because I want to have the shortest runtime possible. But on this particular one, it is going to be okay. So basically, we went deep enough to handle the deepest over here. You got that bad boy right there. Nice little small step over. If you guys do this and this doesn't actually work good for you, if this actually doesn't work good, you got to make sure you flood the coolant for one. Make sure you flood the coolant in here, right? Because it's going to come here. It's just going to start like, you have all these chips coming out and stuff. But you got to make sure that you flood the coolant and get those chips out. If perchance you break a tool or it's not working right, then you can just go drop down at 200 thousandths at a time or something. But this should be fine. Okay. So now we got that whole thing roughed, okay? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring that same tool in and we're going to finish it, okay? One of the things, like I said, you got to make sure that your holes, your pockets are clear, all right? If I was actually making an aerospace part and it actually mattered, I would actually take this tool and I'd rough it, and then I'd have a completely separate tool to come in to finish it, right? The finishing tool might have more flutes or something just to give me a better finish, all right? But this should be fine. I would probably drop full depth and actually finish it all at one time, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to just do that right now. With the same tool, I'm going to go full depth. But if it doesn't work for you guys, then just break it in half. I just don't want to leave that little line right there, okay? So we're going to come back up here. We're going to actually say 2D. Boom. I'm going to come down. Okay. I already have my flat end mill right there. I already have my 4,000 RPMs right there. on a finish pass going deep into these corners, you might want to slow this down a little bit, okay? But I'm going to just leave it alone because 4,000 isn't that bad, all right? But what I'm going to do, because I don't want to take any chances, I'm actually, and we're not taking a lot of material, but I'm just going to slow it down a little bit, okay? So I'm going to take this down to 10. Okay, we'll go 10, 10, 10. There's no material there, so I'm just going to go 50 right there. Okay, so we're going nice and slow inside there. This is not how I'd run in the real world, but this is what I'm telling you guys right here because I want you guys to be safe and see the passes. After that, you guys can speed it up a little bit, see how it goes. Again, sometimes you got to step twice down. So instead of going all the way to the bottom, you'd actually just go like, you know, ½ inch and then down to the bottom. You know what I mean? So this is good. I'm going to come up here. Boom. And now we're going to finish it. So click it. Click, 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 click. Like, is that on the inside? Throw me off. Click here. Click here. I actually just want to like look at that real quick and see, make sure that those are on the right side, right? So now I got this guy right here. Model top, feed height, top height, model top. Let's say negative 0.2. That's the top height. Feed height, negative 0.1. This guy right here, I'm going to drop down. So I'm going to say bottom, model bottom. So I'm going to say negative 0.020. Okay, I'm going to look at it. Looks good. Then I'm going to come up here. Boom. We're going to go where. Boom. That's fine. That's fine. We're going nice and slow. Nice and slow. You know, this is not super precision right here. But we definitely want to take our time and get into those corners and make sure that we get a nice surface finish. Nice pass, right? So this all looks good. We're not leaving any material. So we're gonna boom. I actually don't need a vertical right here, so I'm not gonna worry about it. So I'm gonna say 0. I don't need anything right there. So I'm just gonna say okay. Boom. Now, why did it not actually do over here? If I look and I'm like, oh, these guys must have been wrong. Okay, so let me go back over here. I'm gonna go edit, go right here. And so I'll click that guy. I'll click this guy, click this guy, click this guy. So I'm gonna say this guy right here. Boom. This guy. Boom. This one I didn't even touch. So I'm gonna like put that guy in there. This one I didn't even touch. And this guy is going to be boom, 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 boom. Get that guy right there. Boom. I'm gonna say okay. Now it looks perfect. And you can look, you can see that it starts right here, but it actually lifts up and moves over, comes down. Meaning like it starts feeding right here, which is below this surface. So that's what we set it up as. We're using the whole flute of the tool, right? So this is going deeper. So the more rigid, the upper part of the flute is actually cutting. It actually keeps it more rigid anyway. So I'll come in here. I'll look at my lead in, lead out, boom, 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 everything. Everything looks absolutely great. You can see that the radius is nice and small in there, but I think it's just gonna make it perfect. It's gonna make it beautiful. All right. So if on this one, if it's funny, right? Because if the RPMs are too high and you're only going at 10, You just go ahead and speed the 10 up, put more pressure on it, and you can actually make a better surface finish because the tool won't be bouncing so much, okay? But because it's education, I wanted to like just tiptoe and make sure that you guys were nice and safe. All right, so now you guys have finished all of those guys, okay? So what is next? I think next, I'm not going to worry about the bottom of this guy right now because the drill actually comes through here all the way through, like boom, 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 right? So I'm not going to worry about that. So what I am going to worry about though is just deburring everything, okay? So I'm going to deburr this guy. I'm going to deburr this guy. I'm not going to touch these guys. I'm going to deburr all these little guys, okay? So let's go up and get our chamfer tool. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go 2D. I'm going to say 2D chamfer. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to select it. Go to building blocks. I'm going to come right there. I'm going to hit this guy. Okay, 1/4 inch chamfer so I can stay nice and tight in here. All right. So it says break sharp edges 10 thousandths, okay, in the upper left-hand corner of the print. So I'm going to come up here. I'm at 4,000. That's fine. I'm going to come down. Okay, so we'll do 20. Just a nice bead rate. Then I'm going to come over here, select. I'm just going to hit this guy. Boom. I'm going to hit these guys. Boom, boom. So I see this guy over here was already, so I want that to be on the outside. I want this guy to be on the inside. Click that guy, this guy, this guy, put it in there. So that all looks good. But it's a lot of arrows, so I gotta go double check it, okay? So I'm just gonna come up here. I'm gonna hit this guy, so model top. We'll just say 0.2. Retract height, say 0.2. Bead height, I'm gonna say -0.1, -0.2 for the top height, and then this will be -0.2 right there. So it'll be 1, -2, -2, -2, which is down here. All right, because everything's down on that bottom surface right there. So then I'm going to come over here. Boom. I'm on wear. I'm okay with that. 10 thousandths right here. Tip is 50 thousandths. So we just have to think to ourselves, we have 1/4 inch tool, so half of the tool is 125. So if we do this, that'll get our tool off. And I didn't double check what this distance is right here, but maybe I should. Maybe I'll go 0.070 just to stay off it, right? And then chamfer clearance 0.010. Let's see if that works. I'm going to come over here. Safe distance 0.020 is fine. Doesn't matter. 0.020. 0.020. I don't need that. And let's see it. So I'm going to say okay. See, so it's scared. Look at that. Look at that. It's scared. So it basically did all of them, but it didn't actually like this one right here. Okay. So I'm just going to play with it a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to right click it. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to come back over here to this guy and this tip. So if I'm 70 off, that means 30, 55. That means I have a 55 thousandths right there, right? So I'm going to go 0.1. I'm going to use the top part of the tool. I'm going to say okay. And check it out. It did it. Boom. See? So I was off 0.1. That leaves 25. I'm using 10 thousandths. So basically the tool, like this part, like 15 thousandths will like just overhang as it comes around here. Okay. So but that'll work. All right. All around the outside, everything looks good. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so now let's just do the same thing. So I'm just going to copy this guy, right click. I'm going to say duplicate, duplicate. Come over here. I'm going to right click it. I'm going to say edit. I'm going to actually come, that all looks good. I'm going to come around here. I'm going to actually get rid of these guys. Boom. And I'm going to just select this guy. Okay, so I'm going to select that guy right there. Let's select this guy right here. Select that guy right there. Arrows are on the right side because I'm going around the outside. So that looks good. Then I'm going to come over here. Now I'm not on the bottom now. Now I'm on the top. So I got to get rid of these guys. So model top is model top. Model top is model top. Okay. And this is 0.1 for model top. Okay. So now I just adjusted everything. So we're cutting this top surface right there. All right. Looks good. All right. So I'm going to come back up here. Boom. I'm just going to move that right there. I'm going to just put that at 60 just because that's like a normal good tip offset. Okay. And one thing that I'll say is that you're dealing with a precision part, right? So usually you want to do these holes at the same time you do the diameter, just in case, so you can make sure that it doesn't walk. But since the thread is coming from the other side, we're just going to pop all through. And then you'll be able to tell, because if this is skinnier than this, that means that your drill walked. And there's no going back because you already finished the whole part. So you got to be like careful. Make sure that your zeros are perfect. Ooh, that even makes the TITAN-10M even more complicated because you're going to know if you mess it up. All right. So that looks good. 10 thousandths. This one, clearance, you don't even need anything right there. So boom, boom, boom. On these guys, we'll go a little bit bigger. It doesn't matter. But why not? Right? So that all looks good. You can see it. Boom, 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 boom. Chamfering around the edges. Okay, so now let's come over here. I'm going to right click. We're going to simulate. Okay, so it's cutting around. Cutting around. Speed it up. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You see it? Finishing it. Finishing it. Slowed it down a little bit. Coming around. Coming around. Boom. Finish. 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 Drops down. Boom. Comes all the way around. Oh. Then we're pre-drilling all the holes. I'll just speed through it. Pre-drilling all the holes. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, money, money. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, we're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Roughing it. Let's go a little bit. Let's slow it down and look at it. Okay. So it comes in. Look at that beautiful pass right there. Comes in. Boom, 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 boom. Gets the corner. Gets the corner. Gets the corner. Oh. See, in that corner, that's why I have a lot of experience. So that's why I left just a little bit of meat right there. Went in with a small cutter and stuff because those corners can kill you, right? So a lot of people go with bigger cutters and they come back with the smaller ones and they have trouble in those corners right there. But you can see like it's looking really good. So let's just speed it up. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, going all the way through, all the way down. So good. Looks beautiful. Finished them all. Chamfering them. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It actually looks like the part. Look at that. It's so cool. Okay, and then later on, so then afterwards, you'll just flip it over, pop it down, then you'll reestablish your 0 up here, right? And then you'll basically just deck all of this off. You'll profile it, and then you'll basically just do these pockets and these holes, and then deburr, like chamfer all the pockets. They'll be all like tapered, and it'll be like a super sick, crazy part, the Titan 10M. Boom. Check it out. I love it. So we went adaptive, trace, boom, 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 boom. Oh. All right, guys. Titan 10M is complete. I'm out. Next video, we'll be flipping it over, finishing the part. Then you guys are done with the building block series, going to the rocket, going to 5-axis, going to lathe, crazy live tooling, cell systems, 5-axis, robotics, taking it all to the biggest level. Titans of CNC, I'm out. Boom.